Right of Miami, Fulton Walker. He does not get back to the 20-yard line. Stopped cold at the 17. So Dan Marino, as we reintroduce the Dolphins, there's the first half statistics. The Dolphins dominating ball control, the bottom line there, nearly 19 minutes to 11. The pass interception for a touchdown, a key for the Raiders. Yards passing in the Dolphins corner, just a few more yards rushing for the Los Angeles Raiders.
Raiders offense proving that they could move the ball in this first half too. They have exploited the running weakness of the Miami defense.
The shower has stopped, but the grass will be wet here in the third quarter. Alzado again, and his attack has been to slant sharply in from defensive end. That's the third time he's made a tackle in the backfield with that kind of penetration.
Alzado, along with this Raider defense, really feeling the challenge of this opportunity to play this Miami offense, and they're coming off a hot streak. They have been playing excellent defense over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and the Raider offense has not been playing as well, but defensively they have just improved and improved, and of course ranked number 2 in the NFL, and they're showing you why in this ball game tonight.
Against the top-rated offense in the entire NFL. Nathan and Carter now behind Marino. The quick arm quarterback finds Nathan, and he has a first down at the 31-yard line. McElroy and Haynes make the tackle.
Accuracy, so important for a quarterback with confidence in his arm to be able to throw that ball on target. Nathan was not did not have enough for the first down when he caught that football. Had to turn and pick it up. Was very fortunate, I think, that he was not grabbed a little sooner. There were about 5 defenders circling around him.
15 yards on the play. First possession of the second half. Miami trailing the Raiders 17-13, and here comes an all-out rush on Marino, and they blow it dead. They say he was in the grass. Marino is going down anyway. So that is only the 8th time this year Marino has been sacked, and only the 9th time for the Dolphin offense.
Appropriately, the man who got to him, number 75, Howie Long. Howie coming from the inside here. Marino almost got away. You see it right there. The official determined that Marino was in the grasp of Howie Long. Literally tore his shoulder pad out, had a hold of his shirt. Howie stopped because he heard the whistle, by the way, if you're wondering.
Marino was going to go down anyway. He wasn't going to try to throw the ball.
Howie has tremendous hand strength. Once he gets a hold of it, he doesn't not going to let go.
Big loss for the Dolphins, 12 yards, so it's 2nd and 22. Undaunted, Marino to the air. And that one skipped short. That's about as far off target as Marino has been the entire game. Mark Duper, the intended receiver.
Maybe just wanted to show us that he's human, Dick. That was not a good pass. There are the numbers on Marino for the evening. 200 yards even, just as we break into the early part of this second half, and he's well on pace for another 300-yard outing.
Just 23 years of age. You know, landed through his 36 touchdown passes when he was 34. When Marino's 34, it'll be 1995.
I don't even want to think about that.
What a future for this Miami franchise. 3rd and 22. Throw short, but he had to get rid of it under pressure, and perhaps the Raiders have done the one thing that very few have accomplished this year, and that has been to pressure Dan Marino. And Greg Townsend was right on top of the quarterback on that last throw, and he had to dump it off, and it was short.
Situation substitution. Greg Townsend from the right side of your screen. Watch him. He'll blitz into your screen right there. Marino could not wait long enough for those receivers to open up. Simply unloaded the football, and that's one of the reasons he has so few sacks. He won't let you sack him, Dick.
The wind has really died down, so Roby won't get much benefit from a breeze. And Clee Montgomery, 41, and to the 49 of the Raiders. Bruce Hardy and company on the tackle. Only a 40-yard kick by Roby, 7-yard return, and we have a timeout. Kenberg, welcome back to the Orange Bowl. 2 quality teams in a playoff environment, and the Raiders leading 17-13 over the favored Dolphins. Raiders ball first down at their 49. Early in the third quarter. Kenny King, rare carry for him. And the former Oklahoma star is out of bounds at the 45. The Sooners will be here in the Orange Bowl on NBC, and some feel that if BYU stumbles a bit, it might well be Oklahoma playing for the national title on New Year's night.
And at the bottom of your screen there, Todd Christensen, a BYU graduate, and there's a man who is ready to come back into the ball game if needed. Tom Flores said, I'm not going to be hesitant about putting him into the ball game, and you got to wonder if maybe Plunkett isn't poised for another one of his miracle comebacks.
He's the man. He knows how to write the book. He's been out since the 6th game of the season with that stomach tear. Wilson to Christensen, hit immediately by Mark Brown, but not until the Raiders have a first down at the Miami 36.
It's a BYU battery there.
A couple of Cougars connecting. Wilson to Christensen.
Dick, the emotion of those final seconds of the first half, the tremendous surge by the Raider defense has really carried into the opening moments of this half.
You feel it in the crowd too.
You really can. You really can. And the Raider defense shutting Miami down. The offense coming right back and moving the ball down the field.
Marcus Allen in at the 34 after a 2-yard gain. Doug Betters, he's been rather quiet today, and that says a lot for Henry Lawrence, a man who has been charged with blocking the outstanding defensive end of the Dolphins.
Lawrence, they call him the killer, working hard on Doug Betters. I really believe, though, that in Doug Betters and in Howie Long, two of the finest, if not the finest, defensive tackles. Now, they may not get the notoriety of a Mark Gastineau, but believe me, in terms of it being complete players, playing the run, playing the pass, doing everything that's expected of them, I think they do a heck of a lot more.
Christensen has another reception and out of bounds with a first down at the 21. 13 more yards for Christensen, who's moving on that 70 catch mark for the year. Oh, he has been productive. To think that, well, I guess part of it was his own stubbornness. He did not want to be a tight end. He was a running back at BYU, and when Dallas drafted him in the 2nd round, they suggested he become a tight end. Didn't want to. Let him go. Giants had him for a while. Couldn't find a place for him, and finally he was convinced, hey, maybe that's my spot. Boy, were all the coaches right. He is some tight end. Kenny King putting on the brakes and getting outside. Gets a block. And down at the 10-yard line, I believe that was Dokie Williams out there helping him along.
Was indeed, and what a blessing speed is. King starting to his right. There was no hole. The defense totally committed to that side. King just stopped. He looked like he put on the brakes on both sides and just bounces back the other way. Tremendous reactions using his speed. Lyle Blackwood 42. There's Dokie Williams. He just got in the road over there. William Judson 49. And they have an important first down just inside the 10-yard line.
So first and goal, the full 10 yards for the Raiders. Frank Hawkins for 3. Bob Brudzinski, 59 on the bottom of the pile, a former Ohio State All-American and one of the better backers against the run. Former Los Angeles Ram. Came here after he quit the Rams in '80. Born on New Year's Day, and he well has celebrated his birthday in a football uniform several times.
Raiders have gone to their 2 tight end plan here with Casper in a wing situation just outside of Todd Christensen.
There he is, Dave Casper, the other tight end, and the veteran from Notre Dame gets 6 more on the board for the Raiders.
Well, the echoes, ghost to the post. That's not really a true post pattern, but this is what the Raider coaching staff put in to take advantage of the 2 tight end situation. Casper just sliding in from the right-hand side. You'll see him coming into the picture right there, number 87. Breaking open across the middle, working on Charlie Bowser, 56, the linebacker. And Casper has put 6 points on the board. Barr will see if he can put up a 7th.
It's good. So Casper only 3 catches all year, but 2 of those for touchdown. And with 9:35 left in the third, Flores in the catbird seat at least here early in the third quarter. And he has not lost to Shula and the Dolphins, and that is a record to be admired. 4-0 against one of the masters. Bolton Walker deep.
Onside.
Oh, look at this, and it should work. The Raiders have recovered at the Miami 49-yard line. Oh, they caught Miami with their backs turned.
That, of course, the perfect opportunity to take advantage of a team. Totally unexpected. Barr just kicking a little roller down the field and following it himself.
He almost fumbled it back to Miami.
It looked like he had trouble getting his handle on it. He just taps it right here and stays right on top of it. Actually, 3 Raiders. Jeff Barnes, the blocker, and he's the guy that got down and got on top of it. The 2 Raiders, who would ordinarily be the men to go down and break the wedge, were actually assigned to be blockers in that situation, running ahead of Barr to keep the defenders away from the football.
It went the necessary 10 yards. Actually was 12 yards downfield before covered by Barr. That's got to be, that's almost like a pitcher hitting a home run. That's a big moment for a kicker.
Perfect execution of the onside kick, and it is most effective when you do the unexpected.
First downs today. First down play apparently.
Yeah, look at the average on those first down situations. 14 plays with an average of 5.9 for the Raiders. Much more successful on the early downs than Miami.
Here's Marcus Allen, and he's going to better the average some more as he plows for about 12 to the Miami 39. Now the Raiders certainly have momentum on their side and an 11-point lead on the scoreboard.
Always an embarrassing moment for the special teams coach when that kind of play works. However, the special teams coach for the Dolphins, really the man himself, Shula. So it's pretty hard to chew anybody else out.
I don't think the Dolphins have been this far behind all year, have they? 24-13. Hawkins for a few. Miami Dolphins, they've lost only once, and that was in overtime after Von Schaman missed a 44-yard field goal in San Diego that would have won it in the final seconds, and the Chargers won in overtime. The only defeat suffered by Miami.
Interesting, Dick, to have followed the Raiders through this season. Early in the year, they talked about the fact that they could turn it on when they wanted to. They reached for the gas a couple of times, didn't have it. But suddenly here, late in the season, they appear to be getting back into the swing.
Hawkins, little inside move on a trap, and nothing much there. A gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd and 5. Baumhauer from Alabama down the bottom of the pile, playing with that bad ankle, but refusing to go to the sidelines.
He was hurt actually in the San Diego game 2 weeks ago. Ed White, huge tackle, dove on the back of his leg. Baumhauer will come out in this situation as they try and get a couple of extra bodies in there to rush the passer. 3rd and 6. 3rd and 7 actually.
Wilson is 0 for 3 in 3rd downs. Crowd trying to help the Miami defense. Incomplete. Intended for Barnwell, who was injured earlier, the shoulder, apparently okay. See if the Raiders go for a long field goal. No, Ray Guy comes in to punt. Other late games, Seattle leading Detroit 21-17 at the end of 3 quarters. For Seattle, knowing that Denver, as you see Barnwell limp off, has lost at Kansas City in overtime, and the Rams lead 27-7 over New Orleans after 3 quarters.
It looked like someone may have stepped on the inside of his leg. It looked like their cleats had ripped right through into the back of his leg as he was heading for the sideline there. But that pass was not well thrown. Wilson's timing was off on the play, and he was kicking himself as he left the field.
So the onside kick recovery does not lead to any further advantage for the Raiders. Ray Guy aiming his punt, and they will mark it at the 8-yard line.
Rifle shot for Guy, who is becoming better all the time at putting that
field with a shoulder injury, and that time they were working on a leg, but he appears to be okay. 8-yard line for Marino and the Dolphins. They've got work to do. 7:26 left, 3rd quarter. His own goal line. His receiver had slipped to the ground. Mark Clayton. Lester Hayes on the coverage.
Turf continuing to play an important role here. Raiders had shifted their secondary, playing both receivers on the wide side, doubling up on them.
Seattle with a 4-point lead in the fourth quarter at the Kingdome, and the Rams lead by plenty against New Orleans at home in Anaheim. Those games have progressed into the fourth quarter. Our game running slower than that. You'll recall we had about a 5-minute delay at the very start of the game on the opening kickoff when Rodell Thomas, the Miami Dolphin linebacker, was injured. He has been taken to the hospital with a neck injury. We have no other information to share with you. Marino, incomplete off the fingertips of Tony Nathan, and bounced out near Nat Moore. Mike Davis on the coverage.
The Raiders overloading the right side of the Miami line, putting Howie Long over Stevenson to occupy him, and able to stunt, break a lineman free. Was the pressure really that forced the pass to be erratic.
Now here's an interesting down deep in their own end. Marino and the Dolphins 3rd and a full 10 for a first down with a great pass offense, but a Raider defense that certainly has been their match thus far.
Marino calls these 3rd down situations the passing downs himself.
2 of 6 on 3rd down in the game. There's his man Nathan, and a first down at the 20-yard line. If it's ruled a reception, it is.
I asked Dan Marino why Shula's allowed him to call those plays. He said, when you call a pass play, there's so much terminology. And he said, by the time Shula repeats it to a messenger, the messenger repeats it to me, and I call the play, and then we go to the line. We simply cannot do that. Here's the shot from behind as Marino obviously called a good play. Nathan just cutting to the inside, waiting until the last second. Again, a timing pattern. That's the kind of pattern that they've been very successful with today.
From our unique position on the goalpost with that camera, you saw the quickness of the arm of Marino. Now he lofts this one, and it fell in between Nathan and Mark Duper, and Marino kisses the turf under pressure again.
Raiders coming aggressively with the blitz in a number of situations here to try and get additional pressure on Marino. He's probably been hit more today, Dick, than in any other game he's played all year.
He's right about it. He's over the 50% mark, is he not, for the game? As we check the statistics, he's been under 50% only once all year, Marino, and that was against Indianapolis, and he's 18 for 34 today. There are the Blackwood boys, Lyle the senior and Glenn the younger brother, the 2 safety men for Miami. Well, they look like twins.
Well, they're a couple of tough dudes too, Rick.
2nd and 10. Contact before the snap, but I don't see any flag down. Marino goes down, and that will be logged as a sack.
Can't help but wonder if maybe Stevenson didn't miss the count. He was the only one moving. Everybody else moving after the fact. That sometimes happens if a center blows the count, gets the ball up early. Very often a fumble will result in that kind of situation.
I understand that Eric Dickerson has 1,746 yards for the season. He's over the 100-yard mark against New Orleans in 3 quarters today. So he's moving on OJ.
He's roughly right on pace for OJ's record, isn't he?
That was considered a run, not a sack. It was not a sack, a run. Marino. That'll be a first down. What an important throw as he hits Joe Rose. Rose's first catch of the game.
Van McElroy, number 26, plays center field in most situations for this Raider defense. Dropping way off the ball, trying to read the eyes of the quarterback. There he is in the center of your screen. Now you'll see Rose coming in at the top of your picture right there. There he is right there. And it's Otis McKinney, 23, and McElroy who finally come over to make the play. But you notice how deep McElroy is. They don't want to give the Miami Dolphins that long bomb.
19 yards to dig out of the hole on 3rd down. Marino goes to work. There's free is Mark Clayton. Oh, he almost fumbled it in the celebration, and now you can let it go. mark. Clayton's 13th touchdown of the season. Almost an embarrassing moment for the young man from Louisville as he got a lucky bounce and a 64-yard touchdown. 38th of the year for Marino.
There was a collision between McElroy and Mike Haynes right here. The two of them clashing together right on the heels of Clayton, knocking each other off the tackle, and Clayton has it all alone as he goes down. And what a lucky bounce. That ball bounced right up into his hands. Doing his celebrating a little early, and I'm sure there'll be a small lecture from Coach Shula during film time on Monday.
92-yard drive engineered by Marino, strictly with the pass. Shaman gets the extra point. With 4 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the third quarter, the Dolphins are back within 4.
Let's look again at the reason for that play's success. It was McElroy coming across and diving across at the receiver and bumping into Haynes right there. They literally knock each other off and free Mark Clayton down the field.
And Clayton may have learned a lesson of 10 yards engineered by Marino. He showed a couple of tough plays on third down, and Clayton 64 yards on the payoff, and it's a 24-20 lead for the Raiders. Shaman sends Greg Pruitt too deep in the end zone. The Raiders will take the touchback. We mentioned on NFL 84 that while Marino now at 38 touchdowns this year, the all-time record, is to be applauded, let's not forget the greats of the past. And 25 years ago, that man, John Unitas, in a 12-game season, had 32 touchdown throws. And his coach later was Don Shula, now with Marino. And he had some interesting thoughts about the two men yesterday, didn't he?
Certainly did. Would not compare the two, but believe me, if Marino can stay healthy, if he can maintain the skills that he has developed so quickly, he will make a shambles of the record book at a very young age. Listen to this crowd. Whoa.
Marcus Allen for 3.
When things start to go a little sour on you, and you can feel the emotion kind of turning to the side of the Raiders early in this half, right at the end of the half and at the beginning of the second half, great players will come forward to make the great plays. And you said it, Marino made the big plays on that drive, got them in for the touchdown, and it's changed the emotional level here 100%.
Christensen. That looked like it had interception written all over it, as there was a Dolphin in front and a Dolphin behind. It looked too tall, and Christensen just stole it away. Bowser hit Wilson just as he threw it.
Wilson throwing under tremendous pressure. A.J. Dewey, the man who's covering Christensen, but if that ball had been an inch higher, it could never have been caught. In fact, it would indeed have been intercepted.
Here it is again. You see Bowser hitting Wilson as he delivers it. It's short of the first down. 3rd and 2.
There's no way to hear your signals out there, Dick.
Wilson calls time. And you can credit that timeout to the Orange Bowl crowd of 75,000.
I really believe if he had asked the official that he could have gotten an official timeout in that situation. As it is, he has taken a Raider timeout.
And that could play importantly in the fourth quarter. We still have 3:33 left in this third period. We might mention that the Dolphins, behind only 3 times at halftime all year, won those 3 games. They've been outscored only twice in the second half this season, and once by the team that beat them, the San Diego Chargers, who took them into overtime. And this time he asked the referee for some help. And Ben Grice says, okay, I'll try to calm the crowd. Normally this doesn't work.
Well, once you let the crowd know that they can control the game, you got a problem.
Let's go back to Shula and what he said about Unitas, just to complete that relationship. He said the 2 things that he remembers most and admired most about Unitas. One, he said, was his toughness. He would always give his receivers the extra step because he would take the pounding. He'd wait to the last second. And the other is he really wrote the book. Unitas wrote the book in the 2-minute drill.
Well, as one who performed often against Shula when he was in Baltimore against the Colts, I can vouch for both of those things. But again, I think it's the combination. Good quarterbacking and good coaching that makes for a great offensive team.
3rd and 2. The Dolphin players asking the crowd to quiet so that they can go to work. Wilson says, I can't hear.
This is a situation that many feel would be rectified if you could put a small receiver and transmitter in the helmets of the players.
Well, Commissioner Pete Rozelle said that they might well experiment with that in the preseason next year.
Well, I hope they work better than the mics we put on our officials today.
Marcus Allen stopped cold, and now listen. Walker will drift back. Ray Guy to punt.
Big plays early in the game by the Raider defense, but right there, Chuck Studley's defense came up with an extremely big play. A.J. Dewey, man, first on the scene in that tackle. And now the Dolphins will have excellent field position from which to attack the Raider defense.
Walker is playing really shallow. He's all the way up to the 33-yard line. Guy can kick it farther than that. And does. Walker all the way to the 15 and out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Ooh.
He was out of bounds when he lost the ball.
Oh, he lateraled that ball. Very dangerous maneuver. Not the kind of thing a coach is going to be happy to see. Very dangerous.
Ray Guy, like a hitter, looking at the center fielder saying, you're playing that shallow, watch this one. And the Raiders. Dallas already updated 156 with their win today. Miami and Dallas in a virtual tie for the best record.
Shula and Landry battling it out too.
24-20, the Raiders lead. First down at the 17, and do we have an interesting piece of statistical information to say to Alzado pressuring, and Duper has it anyway. First down at the 32.
Part of the equation that creates a successful pass play, give the quarterback time to throw the ball. Dwight Stevenson, number 57, on the nose, playing on Bill Pickell, doing a great job. Pickell, who has become an excellent pass rusher, could not get anywhere near the quarterback on that play.
16 yards to the 33-yard line. Clayton to the right. We understand that that is now not a touchdown pass. Now they've changed it back. Okay, it is a touchdown pass. They were going to say that was a fumble run for a touchdown. Bennett blasting to the 40-yard line and a gain of 7. There was contemplation that since Clayton, in celebrating early, fumbled the ball, that would not be a touchdown pass but a fumble run for a touchdown. Now they've reversed their thinking and I think justifiably called it a touchdown pass, the 38th of the year. Seattle opens its lead against the Lions to 14 in the fourth quarter. That would give them sole possession of victory. First place as Denver was upset in overtime by Kansas City today. If we might have 3 teams out of the AFC West, could have 3 out of the NFC East in the playoffs. Bennett breaking a tackle. 40, 50. Finally out of bounds at the 38.
Rod Martin, number 53, missing the tackle on Woody Bennett on the outside. Good blocking on the inside to pin down the Raider defense. The center, Dwight Stevenson, doing an excellent job on that play. You'll see him right in the center of your screen on Reggie Kinlaw, number 62. His job to cut Kinlaw off. Not only cut him off, but got a second block on Matt Millen. Tremendous job. Now watch the play by Bennett. Running right out of the tackle of number 53, Rod Martin. Leg strength. Broke away and then showing some surprising speed for a big man.
The injury to Andre Franklin, Bennett is the leading rusher for the Dolphins this year, and that was his longest run, 23 yards of the season. Marino now in Raider territory, gets it out to Nathan, ducks the tackle. 20, 10, down at the 11-yard line as he ran by Jack Squirey.
You very often see a quarterback duck underneath the on-rushing defensive line.